detractors, but they have receipts, and you never showed receipts.
What receipts do they have exactly?
Well, we're gonna. I'll show you, but first let's do this here.
What receipts besides circumstantial stuff or stuff that they claim
all right,
real, but it's never been proven?
It's circumstantial. We're going to get into it then. But before we do, I just want to remind you of what you've said previously about the bank leaks, because I don't think that you're being honest with your viewers or the world in general about these bank leaks based on the information that I found in my investigation in these past couple of weeks.
The entire thing, bank leak stuff, is fake. There was no bank leaks that ever happened to me. That whole thing was fabricated by my detractors. I don't even know what information they got or who they got it from, but it wasn't me. Like, they'd be like, what about the bank leaks and what about this and that? I'm like, what about them? Did you analyze them? Can you show them on stream? Can you prove that those are real?
And just so you're aware, Phil, I did analyze them, and I can show them on stream right now and prove that they're real. I don't believe that you've been honest about the bank leaks. I think you lied about a lot of that because it's in your benefit to lie. You don't want your detractors to know how much you've been spending on gin and wine and DoorDash and a WWE game.
Why would it matter?
Oh, let's get to the bank leaks, especially. You say they're fake.
Hold on.
Phil,
why would it matter?
In order for them to be fake, the person that faked them would have to know what kind of car you drive, who your internet service provider is, who your electric company was, who your garbage company was, what their monthly charge was at the time of the bank leaks for people living in your area at the time of those leaks. They'd have to know what restaurants you eat at and when you ate at them. They'd have to know when and where your wife gets haircuts. They'd have to know what your local water company was and what you pay them every month. They'd have to know when you go to Burger King. They'd have to know when you go out to eat, when you do DoorDash, when and where you go grocery shopping, how much your back tax payments are, what your mortgage company is and how much you pay that every month, how much you're making on YouTube. They'd have to know how much you're making on Twitch, what accounting firm you use, and what they're charging you. The odds of somebody knowing all that information, it's like it would take a 007 CIA operative to fake these. Phil, you don't see that. Do you understand that there's direct correlation? You say I went to Burger King and the Burger King charge is there on that day or the day before. You say, I'm getting a haircut. 8 times somebody caught you saying you're getting a haircut, and those haircuts are on the bank leaks. And do you understand that the person that did that is a retired police officer? The person that found that information is a retired police officer. I think he's called Broside Phil.
Oh, I don't know.
They'd have to know all of this information. In order to fake them, it would take like a team of people. And here's the other thing.
Okay.
Do you understand that like people can track things down? So
sure.
you know where those leaks came from, right? They came from an audio recording of somebody who socially engineered on their telephone basically calling an online teller at your bank and listing off all of the charges for that whole 18-month period. And here's what I found out in the course of my investigation. Let's just take a listen.
September 13th, a pre-authorized payment of $120.27 from Comcast. On September 13th, a pre-authorized payment of $112.28 from Apple iTunes. On September 3rd.
All right, so it's enough to say that somebody sat on a telephone for 5 hours. Now, I went through the first 5 hours of it. It matches the bank leaks 100%. And I also contacted the bank. This is the online teller at the time. That's the voice they use. So for somebody to fake this, they would have to have the software development kit for the telephony for this bank software and the text-to-speech that's used in this. They'd need the software development kit. Do you know what that costs?
No, I don't know what that costs.
It costs tens of thousands of dollars. Somebody would have had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to fake this 5-hour phone call with your online bank teller, Phil. You don't think that sounds like overwhelming evidence that they're real? You mean to tell me one of your detractors spent 10 grand on a software development kit?
Are you going to let me respond now?
Okay, let's hear it.
So you're saying that you heard this clip, this 5-hour clip that supposedly someone recorded off of some phone line, and this is 100% indisputable evidence that it's true. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that I went through and somebody really did sit on this online teller and then transcribe every charge to a spreadsheet. It matches this 5-hour recording. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know the time it would take somebody to first fake this recording, and then again they'd have to know everything you spend money on, and all of these charges that are near your house. Did you know that all the charges are within just a few miles of your house, and that correlates perfectly to being right near your house? Here's a perfect example. And I've redacted as much as I can.
We already know this. Everyone already knows this, but go ahead.
This is the supermarket. This is the supermarket where you shop. It's 3 miles from your house. 4 miles, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And this is the discount store. This one's, 3.1 miles. 3.4 miles. I don't know. It's a few miles from your house. And I was able to do this mapping with over 40 of the charges, the Petco, the place where you get your hair cut. It's all within a few miles of your house. And there's correlations where you said things on stream like, I'm going to get a haircut today. Those charges are there. And in the case of the Burger King, they would have had to know the day before you said you were going to Burger King, because that was the day before. It's virtually impossible for somebody to fake these, in my opinion. I've got 40 correlations. These are all stores and locations all right near your home in this course of this 18 months. You mean to tell me that some crazy evil genius figured out how to fake a 5-hour teller call and then put it all on spreadsheets as well? It's all fake. Look at the spreadsheet. Okay. It correlates to the audio recordings. 100%. So and look at this. You're telling me somebody faked all this? This isn't you?
I'm still waiting for you to finish so I could respond.
I'm not finished, so respond so far, and I got more for you. I got a lot more for you, Phil. You can either admit that the bank leaks are real and those are your charges, or you can continue to lie to your viewers and everybody else. It's up to you. I told you about that road to redemption. So come on. What are we going to do here?
So are you done now, or do you have more to say about the bank leaks? I'll respond to all of it when you're done.
Well, the reason that people are so upset, you could see in these charts, it shows that you spent more on transactions most month than your mortgage payment while you're begging your audience for money for your bills.
That wasn't my question. My question is, are you done talking about the bank leaks so that I can respond and we can move on?
No, yeah, I can show you more evidence. I could show you more evidence.
All right. I'm just waiting for you to be done, and then I'll respond, because there's no point in responding.
All right, then fine. I'll show you some more evidence, and you can try to explain all of this away. The haircuts. The haircuts, Phil. The haircuts. Mm-hmm. The haircuts ruin your grift. The haircuts ruin your grift, and here's why. Curls and twirls. Is that your wife, Phil?
No.
On the website, you're going to say that's not her? Do I got to get a facial recognition expert to show that's her?
I don't think that's her.
Where to get your haircut, Phil? Where to get your haircut?
I'm not going to tell you, because then people are going to harass
where I go. You can't tell me because you get your haircut at Curls and Twirls.
Did you hear what I just said?
Your wife's on the website, Phil.
Steve, are you listening to what I'm saying? Did you hear what I just said?
You said you can't tell me because your detractors will use it against you.
That's not what I said at all.
Well, tell me again.
You got to calm down. Listen. I get it. I do. You're excited. You think you got me on something. It's all good. And I'm actually
got you, Phil. I got you. I haven't even started on these bank leaks. There's a mountain of evidence that it's you.
Steve, I want you to understand something. All right? At the end of the day, when we're done here, I'm not going to be upset with you at all. I want you to understand that, okay? All right? Because you're getting very agitated. You're talking over me. You still haven't even let me respond yet to what you're saying. I've been asking, and you keep going. All right? I can't say where I get my hair cut, because if I tell you, they will harass the person who cuts my hair. Do you understand that? They'll find them. They'll still fuck with their public
All right.
information.
So can you show me the
They'll harass
receipts to where you get your haircut during the bank leaks period that wasn't curls and twirls then privately?
Steve. Okay.
That's the problem.
Number
Your
one.
detractors have receipts. You don't have any receipts, Phil. You have excuses and lies and
no
obfuscation. You're trying to
Okay.
keep the grift going. I get it. Because if
Listen
people
to
know for sure those bank leaks
I'm
are
not
yours,
talking.
nobody will give you money ever again. Because
Can I ask-
you begged for money to pay your bills and you spent it on stupid shit.
Can I ask you a question quickly?
Yeah.
How do you expect to get anything out of the show if you won't let me talk? Like, I'm trying to talk to you and you keep yelling over me.
Well, you keep telling me that I got to show you more evidence. I've already showed you a mountain of evidence.
I didn't say
you can't
that.
Explain.
I
you
didn't
can't
say-
explain this.
I didn't say you have to show me any more evidence. I said, can I respond now, or are you going to keep going? Because obviously, I'm going to give my answer, and then we can move on to something else. Or, unless this is all you had was the bank leaks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I've got an awful lot more. But jeez. Phil, the problem is that you're not willing to answer the question.
There's
You're
no
giving
problem.
Excuses.
You haven't even let me say a word yet. You kept yelling. I'm trying to answer. Can I give my response?
Yeah.
All right.
Why are the bank leaks fake? Explain it to me. And why are there all the correlations?
Let me say this. I'm trying to do you a solid with this appearance. I really am. I'm hoping that you're going to get a nice boost of attention on your content because of this. I do. You're going to have an issue having future guests come on your show if you yell at people like this. You understand? Like,
I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you.
Oh, you absolutely have been yelling at me. And I'm not, just so you know, I'm not upset. All right. But you are very agitated.
Oh, well, then I apologize. I get agitated when people talk circles and they don't answer the questions.
Okay.
And make excuses. You're making excuses. You're not answering the question. I'll let you answer, but let's go. I got more to show you.
Okay. So, in regards to everything that you just presented, okay, have you actually yourself called supposedly this phone line and heard all of that to confirm that it's real at all?
Oh, that's an unreasonable request. I've confirmed that was the bank teller voice during the periods that this was made.
You don't have to say if it's reasonable. You don't have to say if it's reasonable. You just have to answer
Okay,
the question.
so I didn't commit a federal crime to get this evidence. Therefore, I'm not qualified to talk about it. Is that what you're saying?
It's not that you're not qualified.
And I agree with you. It's a federal crime. I don't condone what they did, but the information is out there. I got to use it.
So can you, within a shadow of a doubt, confirm that information is actually real?
I believe so. Yes.
So you're saying you can confirm it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How?
Because of the correlations between things you mentioned on your show.
No.
And
That's not what I'm asking.
Charges.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I've asked at all. I'm not asking you if you think that could be my information. I'm saying, can you confirm that call?
Well, not 100%, but the preponderance of the evidence can confirm.
There you go. You can't confirm it's real, right? Why can't you confirm it? Because it was obtained through a federal crime. You understand that? So you don't know if it's real or not. So why do you think?
No, I have a reasonable suspicion based on available evidence that it's real. Here you are crying about Burger King.
No, we're not done yet.
Here you are crying about Burger King, and there's a Burger King charge at the same time on the bank leaks. Is that a coincidence?
I'm trying to answer you, and you're already moving on and talking over me. Do you understand why you're going to have a hard time getting guests moving forward if you act like this?
I don't have a hard time getting guests because I don't really. I do most of my shows solo. I don't care if I have a hard time getting guests.
I'm trying to be reasonable with you.
You came here tonight to clear some things up. I thought I'm trying to help you find that road to redemption, and you're just obfuscating, and you're.
That's not what I'm here for at all. I'm here because you asked me to come on the show, and you said that you wanted to talk about my past as a creator. You wanted to bring up some of the things that my detractors have said, and you said it would be about 90 minutes to about 2 hours, and I agreed, and that was it. Right?
Oh, you're gonna run already? Come on.
I'm not. What are you talking about? Who's running? I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you to respond to this.
In the bank.
I'm going to ask you to respond to this.
But we're not done yet. I'm still.
Well, I'm still showing you the overwhelming evidence. There's overwhelming evidence that the bank leaks are real, and you say you want to address it. So let's go through this video, and you tell me where it's wrong.
Okay, hold on.
There are entries in the bank leaks for beauty/personal hygiene.
So I can respond?
Yeah.
I want to talk, but you still haven't let me even finish a single answer yet. Okay? So let me follow what I have to say, and then you can do whatever you want. All right? You just admitted you cannot actually verify that call is real. You have great reason and suspicion to accept it or think that it's real, but you can't 100% prove it.
I believe a judge and jury would agree with me.
That's fine.
In a court of law.
But you can't prove it, correct?
Nothing can be proved 100%. You're right, but the correlations.
Now,
Phil, eight times on your show you talked about getting a haircut, and the charges are there at the appropriate dates. That's a coincidence? That's all a coincidence.
Dude, you're doing it again. You're talking and screaming over the guest instead of having a conversation.
You're not answering the questions. You're talking in circles and making excuses.
I'm giving my answer. You still haven't let me finish. Okay? You still haven't let me finish. I've given my side of this story of what it is. I don't know if your viewers are actually interested in what my side of the story is or not, because as you can tell, we're not really even talking about what I said. It's just you're just 100% convinced that it's real. So
based on an exhaustive investigation, yes.
Right.
And one of the reasons that I'm sure that some of your detractors are right is because number one, they bring receipts, and number two, the hallmark of a great researcher is that somebody could go after that researcher and find the same information and say, okay, that researcher did a good job, because I found the same thing. I went after this researcher on Pig Go, and they're 100% right. You talk about getting a haircut, it's on the bank leaks. How did these people know every time you talked about getting a haircut in an 18-month period, 8 times? And 8 for 8, it's on the bank leaks when you talked about it on your show, getting a haircut.
Okay. Are you done? Can I keep responding with my answer now?
I'm trying to get you to answer. Yeah.
I'm trying to answer, but you keep yelling over me every time I try. All right. Just let me say what I have to say then. You cannot confirm it's real, but you believe it is real based on all this circumstantial evidence. Fair enough.
I believe everybody that doesn't have a mental deficiency would believe it's real. Yeah.
Fair enough. So, fair enough. I can't change your mind. There's no reason to argue with anything, right? Why would I sit here and say, well, here's what it really is? There's no point. No matter what I do, I'm not going to convince you otherwise, correct? Now, I will say this. Whether or not it's real or not doesn't matter. If it is real, all it means is that I was an idiot who spent a lot of money like a moron very frivolously, and I made lots of mistakes, right? But
don't you think it'd be better to just admit that and move on than this?
Let me continue. You got to let me finish. You got to stop talking over the guest. So
we're having a conversation. I'm not talking over you.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to finish my statement. I lose track of my thought when you interrupt me like that, Steve. Just so you know. And again, I'm not angry. I get it, but please let me finish my train of thought here. Okay.
All right.
So even if every single thing in those bank leaks are absolutely positively true, all it means is that I was very irresponsible with my money. I was in a bad financial situation.
No, it would mean you committed fraud. Sorry to interrupt you again. That's what it would mean. All right.
All it would mean is that
you committed fraud.
In what way? Because
you told everybody that you needed because you told everybody that you needed money for one thing and you spent it on other things. That's a form of consumer fraud to some people's minds.
Wait, what? So let me get this straight. You think that if someone is on a stream and says, contribute to my stream because I need money
to pay my mortgage.
Okay. And then they actually
spend $40,000 on a mobile game. Yeah.
Okay. But that's not what happened. Even if the bank leaks are real, that's not what happened at all. Right. I will tell you this, Steve. Anytime that I went out of my way and I said, hey, I really need help with something, it actually was truthful. Okay. Were there times like I got caught out on this during my documentary by June the King, where he outright said, now, wait a minute, I have a stream where you said you needed money for this, but are you admitting that you spent money on something else at the same time? And I said, yes, I'm admitting that. But the money always went to what it had to go to first, and then it would go to other things as well. All right. I'm not going to tell you if I said, hey guys, I need money to pay my mortgage tomorrow. Can you help me out? And I got that money, that I didn't also buy a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. Now, you're saying $40,000 spent. Again, who even knows where they get these numbers from? I don't know what number that even means, if that means in a year, if that means forever. Have I spent money on mobile games? Yes, I've admitted that publicly. I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on mobile games. All right. I've very carelessly treated my money over the years. That's why I ended up in the bankruptcy. That's why I was living paycheck to paycheck, stream to stream. Okay. But I never outright came on a stream and said, I need this, raised it, and then ran and spent it on something else directly. What you're implying here is that I'm like some kind of a degenerate gambler who like would say, I need the money, and then I would go.
Well,
bet
a lot
it.
of people
You
are
know what I'm
addicted to
saying?
games. It's not something to be ashamed of. You should
Oh,
get
I
help
know.
for it.
God, Steve, I've talked about this, about my past, that actually before this WWE Champions thing, I was actually way more addicted to a different game called WWE Supercard and Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. That those two, I was actually spending way more on than I ever spent on WWE Champions. Okay, so I know all about the addictive nature of overspending and all of that, and I have publicly admitted I've done it.
All right,
okay?
Phil, can we go through the haircut evidence and then you tell me what you think of it?
Steve,
can we do that? Can we just go through it?
Now, how about I just finish my answer? Okay, and then we
You've
can.
You've been finishing your answer for 10 minutes here.
It doesn't matter if the blank leaks are real or not. I'm telling you my perspective. I've already.
Do you understand it matters to your audience? It matters to the internet.
Steve, I've explained this to you already.
Phil, if you're begging for money constantly and you spent 40 grand on a mobile game, that matters. You're telling people you don't have money to buy food and you spent 40 grand on a mobile game. That matters. It goes directly to your integrity.
What are you talking about? You literally, so here's the problem. You are completely extrapolating the situation. You're acting like on one stream I said I need money for groceries, and then immediately I took all that money and spent it on a mobile game. That never happened. Never. If I asked for money for something, I spent it on what I needed it for, and then maybe I spent money on other stuff as well. That has nothing to do with, oh, he blew it all on the mobile game. That's why he needed more money. No, that's ridiculous.
Well, mobile game, DoorDash, gin, wine. There you go.
So what you're implying then is anyone who ever asks for support on a stream can only directly spend it on responsible things, and you have to be police what the person spends the money on. That is so false. That is such a fallacy. It is.
You don't want to address the correlation. There's 20, 30 of them, Steve, where you talked about something and it's on the bank leaks. It's on the bank leaks.
Which we can't verify are real.
You talked about 8 haircuts and 8 times it's on the bank leaks. Let's get into this.
Which
Since we have a control, that being Phil's hair, we can see if Phil got a trim around the times in which beauty and personal hygiene were logged.
Steve,
the oldest entry is October 14th, 2020.
You're wasting your time.
If you're unfamiliar with the banking industry,
I guess
sometimes the charge will post and clear the same day, or it may take 1 to 3 days. So, anyway, using PigPigGo, I found this from October 12th.
Oh my goodness.
But at the same time, I gotta go grocery shopping. We have appointments we have to get to. I'll enjoy the haircut. I'm gonna get a haircut.
I'm gonna get a haircut.
Just starting to get long.
This implies the day off was tomorrow, October 13th, and the charge cleared October 14th. We have a total of 8 haircuts in the leaks. So far, we're 1 of 8. The next cut is logged December 9th, and here's Phil on December 7th.
That's right, and I'm getting a haircut. You're absolutely right, Salvano Fish, remember. I'm getting a haircut as well tomorrow, so a super busy day for me.
2 down, 6 to go. The next log, January 20, 2021.
Steve,
here's
we get
Phil
the point.
On January
we don't
18th.
have to see the other 6.
Grocery shopping,
Steve,
pet
we
shopping.
Get the point.
But this is what I'm talking about, receipts.
Trying to get my haircut tomorrow.
Here's receipts.
Logged March 3rd, and Phil on March 3rd.
Statements match the
zoomed out.
leaks, Phil.
I did get a haircut. It's much closer now than it was, like much closer to the head. Because it's spring, I decided to get a much shorter haircut.
Logged April 8th, and here's Phil on April 5th. Oh,
are we going to talk about anything else?
7th,
or
that's Wednesday.
But yeah, the thing is, this Wednesday,
it's only a few minutes.
We're doing
it's only 2 minutes.
We're getting haircuts.
We're halfway through.
Logged May 11th, Phil on May 9th.
My wife and I are going to probably go grab some food, but then we have to get haircuts.
Logged July 15th, Phil on the exact same date.
Now that the headphones are off, you probably can't see it that well. I got a very close haircut all around the sides and the back. The top's still kind of long.
And lastly, August 18th, and here is Phil on August 18th.
A lot of people are noticing my shorter haircut, which is very comfy, by the way.
There's another
Perfect
one.
time for it.
Matches the bank leaks.
You know, I want to cool down. It's been so hot recently.
Based on this data, from a logical standpoint, it appears that those beauty charges coincide with every day that Phil got his haircut. This now changes our question or challenges our previous outcome. What used to be the transactions on the recording were Phil's, the transactions on the recording were fabricated, or the transactions on the recording belonged to somebody else, must now become 1. The transactions on the recording were Phil's, which coincide with the data found in the bank leaks. 2. The transactions on the recording were fabricated, and the person who fabricated it either accurately guessed when Phil was going to get a haircut or knew when got a haircut. Or 3. The transactions on the recording are from an account which the person who leaked the transactions knew would be utilized by a person getting their haircut at the same time as Phil. Of the 3, which 2 can Occam's razor cut out? But there's more to it than that. In the restaurant's transaction, there's an entry for Maggie's on Meeker. This is not a chain restaurant. And
the restaurant visits match the bank leaks,
which just so happens to be 6.6 miles from Phil's residence.
Match the bank leaks.
This means that if the transactions are fraudulent, the person creating the fraudulent logs knew to include a restaurant that DSP had frequented in the past, and if they are of another person, that person must live within the same confines or general area as Phil.
Yeah. So, come on, Phil. 8 out of 8 times they accurately guessed when you were getting a haircut and put it on those bank leaks, and they made the fake recording of the teller talking about the haircuts.
Yes, not guess, but they already know because they talk about it publicly on every stream. That's what I mean. Like what you're seeing. Is all stuff that was public. You understand that? Like everything that's in those leaks is public information because I'm on a stream.
So somebody like what logs everything that you say and then put it all on the bank leaks. Like when you say you're getting a haircut, when you say you're getting DoorDash, when you say you're going to Burger King, when you say you're going out to eat, when you say you're going grocery shopping, they knew